Greetings, brilliant students. Today we will begin a project that I hope you will find exciting and fun. As you know, we've been reading Kindred by Octavia Butler, and we've watched Back to the Future. Some of you may have watched Kate and Leopold, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, or Midnight in Paris for honors credit, so you're pretty much an expert in time travel. Now you will be the author of a time travel adventure, but it will require you to do some online research, and you will need to know how to read efficiently in order to get the information you need to write your adventure. First, you're going to select information from 6 hats. From the first 4 hats, you will pull out identifiers that will make up a character. From the last 2 hats, you will pull out time periods. Let's say you pull man from the first hat, Hispanic from the second, 40 from the third, and middle class from the fourth. Then you pull 1920 from the first hat and 1990 from the second hat. That means that the character you will be writing about is a 40-year-old middle-class Hispanic man who is time traveling from 1920 to 1990. How will your character's rights and experiences differ in the new time period? Write a story! To find out important information about the time periods you need to study, use the sources listed below. They're also hyperlinked on our class website to start looking for information, but don't stop there. Do some digging around of your own. So for starters, Wikipedia is not your enemy. You know that I've said this before. It's actually a fine place to get some information about a given decade, but it doesn't have to shouldn't be the only source you consult. And these are the other websites that I've collected that may be useful to you, but I encourage you to locate some of your own sources as well. The first thing you're going to do is pull your information from the hats. So on the sheet that you're going to have in front of you, you'll just fill in what the gender, race, age, and socioeconomic status are of your character. And then you're going to pull the year that she comes from or he comes from and the one that she or he travels to. So you'll fill in this information and it will guide the research that you do. So I've put these boxes here, but you may need more space to collect the information that you find. This is just basically to help guide your findings. First, you're going to collect information about the year that your character is coming from, remembering to write down the sources of that information here. And then you're going to collect information about the year that your character travels to, and you're going to make sure that you copy the sources down here. Then you're going to start identifying the major differences that you're going to focus on for your story between the 2 time periods. And then you need to come up with a creative way for your character to time travel. So as you know, in Kindred by Octavia Butler, Dana time travels every time her ancestor Rufus needs her help because she needs to make sure that he survives in order to ensure her own existence. And it's a little bit more exciting the way that Marty McFly time travels in Back to the Future because he's got that cool guy with the white hair, Doc, who has the DeLorean. I know Junior likes that car. So how is your character going to time travel? Once you come up with all of these basic pieces of information, you're going to start drafting your story. You'll have that to do for homework. You're going to continue tomorrow in class, and you're going to consult with me and or a classmate on the work that you have so far, and then you're going to post your story on your class website. So I'm going to walk you through some of the sources that I've collected that you might want to use for this research. This one is an about.com page that organizes American history by decade. So you can play around a little bit on here. You're not necessarily going to find the answer to this inquiry challenge right away from the first website that you look at. That's kind of the beauty of the project, is that it's going to be an adventure. So you can't necessarily type into Google, what would the rights and experiences be of a 40-year-old Hispanic man whose socioeconomic status is middle class, coming from the 1920s and traveling to the 1990s? Google is not going to have that information readily available for you. So you can bop around a little bit on this page. You can move over to this Info Please website that one of your history teachers tells me may be helpful to you. Another source that I've collected is this Eyewitness to History website. It has things listed by decades, and that could be really useful to you. Again, you're not going to find a specific one-stop shop for this research, but you might find something interesting here, you might find something interesting here, the people history. And this is a LibGuides that a place called Barrington, not the one in Rhode Island, put together. And I thought you might enjoy browsing this page since our library's webpage is also built from LibGuides. So it will be also helpful to navigate LibGuides a little bit using this. Don't forget that you're also going to have this document in front of you. It's your online reading plan. So when you first begin approaching this project, you're going to need to be in this area here, the making a plan part. So you're going to need to determine what kind of problem needs to be solved, what plan should you make, and what challenges might you face. So like I mentioned, one of the challenges that I anticipate you may face is not necessarily finding an exact answer on any one source. But I think that that is part of the exciting part of this project. And then as you're looking through the sources, you're going to need to be monitoring your reading, asking yourself, is this making sense? Does this meet my needs? So if you have pulled a 40-year-old Hispanic man out of the hat who's middle class, you might not be finding anything that's specific to Hispanic people per se on any given website. It might not be meeting your needs, but maybe there's something that you've found about gender that could be helpful, about age that could be helpful. So any particular source does not necessarily need to meet all of your needs in order to give you something that might be interesting for your creative process. And then you can use the navigating and negotiating questions as you continue to work through the sources. And then when you're done with this project, you're going to be using our standard creative reflection ideas to reflect on this process. I always enjoy reading your reflections, so I'm looking forward to this project as well. This one is always really helpful to me when you guys write about if you were a teacher teaching this assignment, how would you teach it? What do you think went well? What would you keep? And what didn't work for you, or what would you change? So consider that one. And I wish you the best of luck on this project. I really can't wait to see what you guys come up with.